So guys, I just got back from vacation last weekend and I had plenty of time in the car. I was pondering video topics and my mom went with us and I feel like a reenactment is warranted.
I can do that resist. Why won't it fit?
I love my mom. So many stories. Okay, the topic of this video is why won't my mom's phone charge? Well, you gotta plug it in right, folks. Now, for the rest of us, let's talk about some other reasons it might not charge. This topic is a little broad for a quick tips video, so I'll be splitting it into two parts. In this video, I'll be talking about one of the more common reasons it won't charge. In the next one, I'll talk about some other reasons, and there will be a bit of hands-on and show and tell related to this first video. So let's get to it. Once upon a time, things were silly. You used to have completely different chargers and cords for every single electronic thingy you owned. It was crazy, bonkers. You didn't have teenagers constantly asking you to borrow your Apple charger. Back then, when things were silly, I was a teenager. I'm so old, guys. Guys, this is how you know you're old. USB cables. Wonder what this one was for. Anyway, just think about how many phones, tablets, or MP3 players you've had. Yeah, I'm still old. Some smart guy decided, hey, why can't we charge all these things with the same cable? Better yet, why can't said cable do data also? Because there are so many illegal MP3s to download. Well, I guess these days we have like Spotify and Pandora and like YouTube to stream music. I'm sure there's still illegal MP3s to download out there somewhere. Thus, USB cables were born. Well, something like that. Smart dudes have been trying to standardize things for a long time. The development of electronics and computer standards has come a long way. Okay, enough fluffy bunnies. Let's get to the issue already. USB is a standard that specifies connectors, cables, communication, and power supply. Power supply is what we're interested in because your phone needs power. It's a wizard, and it needs food badly. So, when USB first came out forever ago, it wasn't meant to charge batteries. It was meant to power peripheral devices for your computer, like a mouse or a keyboard. The original USB ports could only supply 100 or 500 milliamps. And that worked fine back then, but we have phones now. We have smartphones even, and the smarter they are, the more power they consume. 500 milliamps just isn't enough these days, especially if you're trying to use your phone while charging it. You might find that you have a tiny little lightning bolt saying that your phone is charging. Lies! It's actually slowly descending into a mad oblivion. Well, you might be mad anyway. Okay, take a breath. That was a lot. Milliamps and lightning bolts. Madness. I know I've been throwing around some strange terminology in this video. If you'd like to know more about the watts and milliamps and stuff, check out my Learn Electronics for Beginners playlist. In the meantime, just know that for a long time USB ports were limited in the amount of power that they could supply. Well, more recently, since around 2009, the smart dudes began realizing we need more power for our devices. They released a battery charging specification for USB ports. So, contrary to popular opinion on the internet, some USB ports on your computer using the charging downstream port or CPD specification can actually supply up to 1.5 amps now. I was actually a little surprised to find how many sources on the internet still say that USB ports on your computer are limited to 500 milliamps. Some ports still are, but not all of them. I guess information doesn't always keep up with the time. Neither does technology. So guys, the point I'm getting to here is that these days all USB ports are not created equal. If you're having trouble charging your device, check what current output your charger is supplying. If you're charging from a computer port, there is still a chance it's throttled to only 500 milliamps output, and there are still plenty of cheap chargers out there that only put out 500 milliamps. It's not enough! These days, if you're charging a phone, you probably want at least a 1 amp output from your charger. For something bigger like a tablet, you'll want 2 amps or more. If you're wondering how to know what you've got, take a look at your charger. It'll be written on there in some fashion. And if you want to know about your computer USB ports, I'll show you more on that in the part 2 of this video. But let's look at some chargers, otherwise known as wall warts. Wall warts convert your typical AC voltage into a lower DC voltage that your device can use. Your phone or tablet uses a battery, and batteries are always DC, not AC. Sometimes you might see a watts rating on there. Most USB chargers will likely have an output rating in volts and amps, which is what you should refer to. Watts is how we measure power. To know the current based on watts, just divide your watt rating by 5 volts. The USB standard uses 5 volts. There are some screwy things that USB standards specify. For instance, some quick chargers can actually step up the output voltage to 20 volts. Remember, your device is only going to draw the current it's designed to draw from your charger. If you have a charger rated for 60 watts and divide it by 5 volts to find 12 amps, you likely have a quick charger that will step up the voltage based on the cable and electronic wizardry that occurs on your data lines within the cable. I might get into all that in a future video, but this quick tip series is meant for the average Joe, so we'll keep it simple. So typically your average phone charger will be a 5 watt charger. If you divide the 5 watts by 5 volts, you'll find it will put out 1 amp. Which is just fine for most phones. Easy. Now, just because it can put out higher amperage doesn't necessarily mean it will. Your device will dictate how much current it will draw from your charger, but it's better to have more than enough than not enough. And because your device dictates how much current it will draw, means it's safe to plug your phone into your tablet charger or vice versa. Granted, if you plug your tablet into your phone charger, it will probably still charge okay, but it will take forever and probably won't charge if you're trying to use it at the same time. So, in summary, your phone or tablet might not be charging because you're using a power supply too small for it. This is definitely one of the more common frustrations most people come across. In part 2 of this video, I'll talk about some other reasons your phone or tablet won't charge, and I'll elaborate a little bit more on the topic of this video with some hands-on stuff, so don't miss it. I also have a fun little project plan that will coincide with the topic of these videos, so be sure to subscribe and smash the like button. Tell all your friends. This is Life Meet Lightning, bringing a little lightning into your life. Okay, enough fluffy bunnies. Fluffy bunny feet. The monsters. I'm a monster. Oh yeah, by the way guys, I pretty much film all my videos in pajamas. We're in a pandemic, guys. It's okay. It's okay.